Don't worry, I have my own too. I'm just here. I have my journals too. If you have your phone too, you can wave it. But just ensure that you go back to it. That's the most important thing. Do we have his bio, media? Do you have his bio ready now?
Co-founder of Innovate Lab, is also a co-founder of Children That Change the World, a non-profit advancing inclusive education for children in underserved communities. JD holds a degree in agronomy, is a Teach with Africa Fellow, and was recognized in Y Niger's New Establishments list in 2019. His work has been featured across local and global media, and he has mentored hundreds of founders and tech talents. JD serves on multiple boards. He is a Branches Worldwide Leader, We Will Lead Africa Fellow, Certified Design Thinking Mentor, and convener of the Ogbomoso Digital Economy Summit. He recently completed the Praxis Academic Program on redemptive business. Is married to Temitayo and is blessed with 4 children. Very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome with me, Jesudamilare JD Adesegun.
Can we rise up as we celebrate him?
JD Adesegun David is a thought alchemist and community transformation strategist and co-founder of Inno.
All right. So it's very interesting because the videos showed me wearing this. All right, let's have our seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Wow. Amazing. It's such a joy to be here. I feel so privileged to be standing before us. Again, I feel like the topic of this session is also what is playing out right now, because if it was not for relationship, I won't be here. And thank you. Okay. And so I want to thank Dr. Adeyemi C. Aderito. Yeah, and his amiable wife. It's such a pleasure to be related with you. Yeah, I want to thank the rector in absentia. I've not seen him, but it's such a joy because if he did not sign off on this, I won't be here. So let's appreciate Dr. Adesegun as well. I see the amazing leaders that are surrounding the leadership of SQI. Can you give yourselves a round of applause? Yeah, you guys do amazing work, right? Great. Congratulations. On Saturday, we leave some people behind. And the man behind him. Congratulations. You are 2 weeks senior to him, right? Yeah, 2 weeks. So you should pay some dues to you, right? All right. Such a pleasure. It's actually a beautiful thing when sessions like this are held. By the way, I'm putting on a cap. That's interesting, right? So, I was about to get ready then, I was picking something out of the wardrobe, then this cap fell out. I'm like, wait, that might be a sign. And I hope it looks good. Thank you. All right. So, such a joy once again to be here. We're going to be talking about relational intelligence. Again, the topic was given to me, but I loved it the moment I saw it. Because I usually talk about first principles a lot. Why do I talk about first principles? Because if you can know the foundational things that make the world go round, you can adapt to any situation. Like, life becomes very easy. It's almost like you can run life on autopilot because you have the basic building blocks. Now, this is not my topic. By the way, I need to know how much time I have. That's not my topic, so I'm going to just branch off. How many people know Lego blocks? Those blocks that have, and then you have to stack them, right? We use them as children and stuff. The idea of Lego blocks is very, very ingenious. It's very, very intelligent in itself because the blocks are just blocks. By themselves, they are almost nothing. But you can rearrange those blocks. You can shape them into amazing things. In fact, there are some guys who professionally build Lego blocks into all kinds of things. Some people build castles out of it, build cars out of it, build characters out of it. And some people actually request for custom Lego blocks to be made for them because of the things they build out of it. Now, what's the idea? The Lego block in itself is just a Lego block. But make that an analogy of the basic principles of life. You have Lego blocks, they are scattered. Somebody sees them scattered and feels like, what can these things become? But a person who knows what they are trying to build can see the Lego blocks and just start fitting them together, and then they have something at the end of the day. But you know the interesting thing? If tomorrow they need to build another thing, they'll just dismantle what they have and rebuild it again. That's why you need intelligence. And intelligence are on many levels. So there's a man called Howard Gardner. Again, this is not my topic. But Howard Gardner spoke about he propounded a theory. It's called the theory of multiple intelligences, right? How that intelligence is not only quantified by aptitude when it comes to if a car is moving at the speed of 50 kilometers per hour, and then there's a typhoon that blows it at 70 kilometers per hour, calculate the new velocity. Yeah, some people can do that off the top of their head. They don't even need to punch calculators. But that's not the only type of intelligence that is available. You actually have, you actually have diverse types of intelligences. Well, the theory has not been fully embraced because people say there are flaws about it. But it has helped people to think about intelligence beyond just being a Nobel laureate. So let me give you a very good example. Now, there is something called kinesthetic intelligence, or that's one of the intelligences mentioned, and that is the ability to use your body in the ways you want it to move. Someone like me now, I can't dance to save my life. Well, if I had to dance to save my life, I would be able to dance. Because adrenaline does something to a person. Abi? Yeah, adrenaline makes you do some impossible things. But if I were to dance, I feel stiff. But some other people can contort their bodies, and you'll be wondering how. Have you seen those guys that come on America's Got Talent or Britain's Got Talent, and then they will contort themselves into boxes, very small boxes? That's a form of intelligence because you don't have it. Do you understand the picture? Exactly. Then there are some other people with spatial visual intelligence. For instance, right now, I don't know where the assembly is by standing here. I could point there. I don't know whether that's where it is. But some people know those things instinctively. No matter where they are, they can locate places. They know north, south, east, west by default. I don't know it. So sometimes it takes me a while to orient myself. And so when I go to places, I try to spot landmarks so I can remember my way back. But some people, they don't need landmarks. They go for the first time. They know how to come back. In fact, if you took the car and moved it to some other place, they will know how to get themselves back to where they were going. And that's also a form of intelligence. So that's also not my topic. But again, I'm trying to underscore that intelligence is multiple, and relations or building relationships also has its own intelligent foundations, as it were. So let's move to the next slide. Why relational intelligence? Okay. Oh, okay, I have this here. Okay, thanks. So why relational intelligence? So there is this myth, I read a lot of Greek mythology when I was growing up. The Odyssey, Iliad, all kinds of the Sisyphus. Sisyphus was the guy who was always rolling a stone up the hill, and then the stone, as about to get to the top of the hill, the stone will start rolling back. The Trojan horse, how many people know some of these things? Yeah. So actually the myths were all created to teach truths. It's just like the way Yoruba come up with proverbs, right? And then, like it talks about, how many people remember Ijakpa and Yaribo? So I had, when I was in primary school, I was staying with a family friend of ours because my school was very far from our place. So I was living with them. So suddenly one of the wives' younger brothers moved to their house, and he had many of these stories. Kai. So every night we'll sit with him and we'll be telling us, Ijakpa went to go and put porridge on his head and put cap. And that's how he became bald, all kinds of. And it was very interesting because we were children. So as he's saying it, and then he will be singing songs, So the Greeks also had their own stories, and this was one of them. And this particular story helps us to understand why we need relational intelligence. So what was the story? So there's this guy called Procrustes, and he had a bed. So a bed he slept on. So this guy, he was a villain. He was a wicked guy. So the next thing is, he will go and kidnap people. So as strangers are going, so he had an inn. He had an inn, like a motel, right? So where people could normally stay. So as people are going back, he will capture them and bring them into his room and put them on his bed. Anybody who was not as long as his bed, he will stretch them until they fit his bed. And those who were longer than his bed, he will chop off their legs so that they could fit his bed. Are we together? What was the idea? It was the idea of one size fits all. The idea that everybody has to be like you for you to be able to relate with them. That was basically what that myth was teaching. That a lot of people live with this mentality of Procrustes' bed. They want everybody to either talk like them, walk like them, laugh like them. By the way, let me quickly do a marriage seminar. One of the most profound things you must know as a married person is you should celebrate the differences of your spouse because it's meant to be complementary. Don't make your spouse in your image. Only God has the right to make people in his own image and likeness. So that will save you a lot of trouble. So don't be like Procrustes, who wants everybody to show up like he shows up or she shows up. Who will tell people, I can't accept the way you are interacting with me because this is how I want to be interacted with. Or who tells people that, yes, what you did was good, but it's not my love language. There's this 5 Love Languages by Gary Chapman. It's a very good book. My wife and I read it before we got married. It's helpful. So I know that I love quality time. I love words of affirmation. No, I love words of affirmation. My wife loves quality time and acts of service, right? Those two things, which I think many women love. But then there's another one they love. It is gifts, right? No woman says no to that love language. Gifts, right? Just as she's about to wake up, just send her credit. I'm not saying airtime, like alert, bam. And then she just wakes up, she looks at her phone. The kind of praise you will hear that day. It will seem like she's floating on cloud 9. And if she's floating on cloud 9, be sure that the entire house will be floating on. All right. So relational intelligence is very important, and I hope to unpack that today. But let's go to definitions. Okay. Sorry. I think I should be the one doing this. So I try to make this definition as simple as possible because I think the subtopic of this particular topic was how to build influence, or the discipline of building what? Influence. Influence. Right? So relational intelligence is the capacity to build relationships that can what? Survive disagreement, stress, and change. Can we read it together if you can see the screen? 1, 2, go. Relational intelligence is the capacity to build relationships that can what? Survive disagreement, stress, and change. Every relationship has seasons. Every relationship. In fact, again, the marriage relationship kind of is the apex of relationships when it comes to human beings, because now you see yourselves every day. And that's where you actually know that these 3 things will typically happen. There will be disagreements. Disagreements does not mean you are shouting at each other or you are raising voices, but there will be disagreements. For instance, disagreements about how to discipline children. Now, I really love the, the review that was done from the book earlier. And he talked about the fact that sometimes your background affects how you communicate. There are some places where communication is a shouting match and it's not fight. Log back in here. And it's not like they're angry with each other, but somebody from outside will go, what's up there? Is this World War? That kind of thing. And what would now happen is that a child who is raised in that environment will begin to shout and not think there's anything wrong with it. But somebody who has grown up in a place where everything is cool, calm, will be like, wait, you are shouting. You are shouting at me. You are shouting at me. And then there is conflict. There's conflict. Or in places where you have to transact to get anything to be done. If parents raise their children by saying, if you sweep the floor, I will give you sweets. Their minds are wired for transactional relationships. It will be, what can I get from what you're asking me to do? And they will actually lean more towards transactional people than people that love them for real, for real. Are you getting the picture? So backgrounds are not things that we can just discount and say they don't matter. They really, really matter a lot. So as I was saying, stress. My experience with my wife, whenever I am entering high stress periods, I tend to fall asleep immediately I land on the bed. As soon as I land on the bed, I sleep. But my wife likes for us to go back over the day and just, talk, let's review the day. How did your day go? What happened? Walk me through it. And maybe I'm about to start saying the things I just doze off. And I sleep. Hi. The first year of our marriage, the first few months were not too interesting. That's because as I sleep off, she took it as rejection. That I want to talk with you, you are sleeping. Am I not important? Am I not important? And I'm like, you're important, but. So I'll say, that's what I'll say. I was trying to be procrustrous. I was trying to tell her that, why don't you ask me these things during the day? Let's just be talking as the day is going. Why are you waiting till the night? So, when I realized that this was beyond my power, I had to tell her that, okay, I would not intentionally do anything to harm you or to put you at, in a place you don't like. Can you pray for me? Just be praying. That me too, I'm praying to God because I know God does not want to see you this way. Right? So I'm praying. She said, okay. Then the next thing was, after some months, I just discovered that we didn't have those friction anymore. I was like, so one day, we were talking at night and I was not dozing. And I was like, wow. But the interesting thing? I now discovered that anytime I had extra responsibility, it will start again. I'll start falling asleep as soon as I hit the bed. But now she knew that it was not intentional. So I'll tell her it's just a matter of time. The moment I master this season, it will not be an issue. And now it's almost not happening anymore. Because now, I am able to manage stress far much more than just eating the bed and sleeping. Are you getting the picture? Why am I saying this? Every relationship, particularly when we want to build influence, will go through different seasons. My mentor usually shares this. My mentor, Mrs. Odusi. Now, the reason why I can share this is because now she shares it publicly. There was a season in our relationship where she did something that was painful to me. It was painful. It felt unfair. It felt very, very unfair. Very, very unfair. But I didn't take it to heart because I just felt like things like this happen. So what happened was, even when that thing happened, I kept reaching out to her on different things. I saw this opportunity. I felt you might be interested, Erida might be interested and stuff like that. And then, so this happened for 1 year. After 1 year, one day she called me. And she said, wait, I've been relating with young people, but your own is different. That you had all the right to block me, cut me off, because I know I offended you. But all true, you will still be watching out for my good. Like you were watching out for me, you were sending opportunities. If I asked you to help me do anything, you dropped everything and you did it. So wow. that has moved their relationship to another plane entirely. It's like at this point, the idea for her is there's nothing JD says or asks that is too much. Like at the drop of a hat, I can make it happen, except it's not within my power. But I don't utilize it. I still tell people that I might be the one who has received the least from her when it comes to those who are around her, because I don't ask. Why don't I ask? Because there are many things you can figure out yourself. There are some things that you will now need to figure out that you cannot, but you might have expended your goodwill capital. Because some people just be like, please, can you introduce me to this person? Can you? Those things are things that if you try other options, you might get it. But then you are like, you've seen somebody, you just keep asking. After a while, the person feels like you are not the only one, Joe. There are other people to attend to. Are you getting the picture? So, periods of change, stress, you need to be able to manage these things. Otherwise, you would not display relational intelligence. So when relationships break under pressure or don't last, it shows a lack of relational intelligence, regardless of performance. And that's something that some people don't know. Some people are very good with their work, for instance, and yet they might be plotting out to send them out of that company. Because they might be good, but they might actually have very bad relationships. There are some people who are genius level. And because they are genius level, they act like bulls in a china shop. So what does that mean? China ware. Those are the teacups and saucers, that very quaint, very nice. And those things are fragile. If they fall off, they break. Then you have a raging bull. Have you seen a bull fight before? Where they will hold one red flag like this, one red cloth, and then the bulls will run. Yeah. Imagine such a bull entering a china shop. That's what some people are like. They don't care whose toes they step on. But they are like, my performance shows. Like, I don't care. I'm a blunt person. Those who like all those blunt things. It's not a flex. So I'm very blunt. Me, I say it as it is. So let me tell you something. So I'll be traveling out of the country this month. But the interesting thing. There were two people that should have also gone with me on that journey. It's not related to Innovate Lab. But the person who was inviting people said, I'm not sure I want to invite the two of them because you have to manage them around tables where conversations are happening. Yeah, you have to tell them, Mason here, don't talk. You are trying to give them eye. They don't know how to read the room. You just talk. Kai, I'm just on page 2. Kai, must like 2. So some people and these guys are performing, they are good performers, but they lack relationship skills or relationship intelligence. They don't know how to handle. I'm going to get to some point. There are different levels of people that you interact with, and all of them have different levels of relationship. In fact, I could see some people speaking with children, and I know that it is just because we are in a Yoruba culture. That's why they have some form of respect for adults. Respect is not inside them. The way they talk to children shows they don't have respect. The way they talk to taxi drivers, bike men, shows they don't have that thing in it. It's just condition. Right? It's just condition. I was reading the book by Femi Otedola. I forgot the title of that book now. Making it big, And then he said there was one guy that he employed. The guy, when he came the first time, he didn't have a car and stuff like that. And they now gave him a car. By the time he came the next time, like the way he was acting, say, I've made a mistake. I gave this guy a car. The car only brought up the pride in his heart. That's what it was. That kind of person already, even if he might be performing well, the next time they will do promotions or they will give bigger cars, they won't give him. Because cars can actually unlock pride in your heart. Have you entered a G-Wagon before? Okay. Let me tell you the story. In 2017, I entered a G-Wagon. So I was the protocol of a minister that came from outside Nigeria for an event. And so when we dropped him off at his hotel, the car to take me back to my own hotel. which was on the mainland. Or no, where the conference was happening, which was like a retreat facility. So I had my own room there. So the next thing was, as we were driving in that car, like a G-Wagon is a machine. In fact, as we're driving, the driver was telling me that I don't stop for policemen. Like, I can't stop for policemen. It's an insult to this car. That why will I stop? He said it's an insult to this, that if I stop, I've insulted this car. That they will see me and wave me. Even driver has already become proud. Driver that will park the car and will take bike and go. Even he has become proud. Now, when I entered that car, and as we were driving on 3rd Mainland, as I was seeing how we're just passing all the cars, the car was not stressing. No. It was not even doing, like it was not stressing, no noise. It was just passing there. I was now, it's a bit tall, so I was now looking out, and the cars were looking small. I said, that's why some of our politicians are the way they are. They will have come from among us normally. The next they start entering Land Cruiser, G-Wagon. They will just be looking at us like And those cars have solid suspension. So even when there is pothole or irregularity, the suspension will hold. Like the tea you are drinking or the coffee will not spill. So imagine they now gave such a car to that guy. Even Femi Otodola might become a slave. Because he might just look at, sir, what are you saying? They said the Bible called it Femi. All right, let's move forward. So before I move forward, it is the capacity to build relationships that survive. I tried to make the definition speak to the negative side of it. That can survive disagreement, stress, and change. When relationships break under pressure or don't last, it shows a lack of relational intelligence, regardless of performance. There are relationships where you don't have to talk every day, but they are held in great esteem. There are relationships where it's not, how do I call it, like you discern in relationship. Let me give you a very good example. So the husband of my mentor, Mr. Odusi, he was the MD of Custodian Allied, the biggest insurance company in Nigeria, like the biggest company. So he resigned not so long ago after he finished his tenure. Now, from a professional standpoint, is 1% of 1%. Do you understand the picture? From a professional standpoint. But I discovered that I remember something that happened one day. I sent him a text. And the text was, I sent him a WhatsApp, like we talk on WhatsApp. So I sent him a WhatsApp and it was a prayer that I greeted him and then I just sent a prayer. So maybe it was for the new year or for new month or something like that. That's why he called me immediately. He said, sorry, I don't understand this text. Like, this is not like the text you used to send. Now, the text was not bad. But that incident also showed me that even prayer, you have to be skillful. You have to be skillful in praying some prayers. Now, let me explain what happened. This is what I feel happened. He didn't tell me, but this is what I feel happened. I feel like there were people who had been sending me some types of prayer so that they can get something from me. And that was not my own intention. Me, it was just like the prayer came to my heart and then I sent. But there's a way some people will send prayers and it is to scare you. So that you ask them, okay, did you see anything about me? That's what happened. I said, okay. Even if that is what came, there's a way to frame it so that you will not look like those that want to threaten the person or put them under pressure to get something. So that's what happened. Now, I would never have known. Thank God he gave feedback. Because he said it does not look like your normal messages. And then I got it. Because I had to now go and scrutinize the message again. I now told him that actually I felt like sending this, but I get it. And then that was the end of the conversation. What I'm trying to say is, if somebody did not give you feedback, you might not know. And they'll just block the door. They'll say, before he comes up with the next step, like the other people, let me slam the door. Are you getting what I'm saying? All right. So let's move. Relational intelligence in 7 movements. Wow. Okay. Just be helping me. Next slide. Which one? Oh, this? The type. Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. But I will still try to keep to time, yeah. So, next slide. Relational intelligence in 7 movements. So, I'll be talking about 7 things. Number 1, movement 1. Relationships are the primary infrastructure. Now, this sounds like big English, but I'll explain. Relationships are the primary infrastructure of human flourishing. Let me tell you the truth. The person who does the greatest good cannot lack influence. Did you get what I just said? The person who does what? The greatest good cannot what? Lack influence. Remember, it's the discipline of influence, right? That we're talking about. But we are just using relational intelligence as the entrance point to influence. The person, now let me ask you a question, please. Why is it that even when we shout and say, stop voting for bad politicians, why do we still keep getting them back into office? Those guys have mastered human psychology. They know that hungry people are not thinking about 2 weeks' time. It is now they are thinking about now. Hungry people are only thinking about what? Now. So if I bring you 5 kg rice and I put 5,000 naira inside envelope and give you and say, Digbo Fumi, what will happen? You that you are speaking English, people will say you are wicked, you are stingy, because this person has given us what? Rice and 5,000 naira. That rice and 5,000 naira will finish in 2 weeks. That's even if it reaches 2 weeks. Because 5 kg of rice, if you have 7 people in your house, it will not even take 1 week before, well, that's if you are not eating it every day anyway, right? But those guys have mastered this art of the wrong approach to this thing. This is the original, and the devil knows how to do the fake. And it will seem like it is giving you the result of the original, but it is not. So is it bad to give people food? No, it's not bad. It's not bad to give people food. But what those guys do is that they use the food as a proxy for relationship. So what's a proxy? They use it as a replacement or a stand-in for relationship. If I give somebody food when he's hungry, do you know that person will have me at the top of his mind as a good person? Are we getting it? I'm trying to... Are we getting at the back? We are getting it, right? Good. If we're in boarding house before, how many people went to boarding house? Have you been hungry in boarding house before? You know, there used to be one biscuit called Speedy. I disliked it. Chocolate, right? I disliked that stuff. First time I ate it, I disliked it. But one day, hunger wired me. I left my class and I went to talk shop. As I got to talk shop, the idea was not to buy it. It was like, alpha, guy. That was how, as I went to one guy, alpha. He just said, "Now Speedy." I said, "Forget, bring her." Hunger made Speedy taste delicious to me. After that, I started eating Speedy. What made me Speedy? Hunger. Now, for the person who just this morning, the children were looking at their face and saying, "Mommy, kill Amaje." And then the mother is looking at them and then they just say there's one rally happening. And then one politician is sharing beans and rice and spaghetti. What do you think the person will think in their hearts? That, guy, this person saved me from embarrassment. Whereas they don't know that proper government will actually save them from long-term embarrassment. But they only remember that immediate embarrassment they were saved from. Relationships are the primary infrastructure of human flourishing. And that is why anyone that can build relationships, anyone that can what? Build relationships. Or anyone that will build relationships must be a person who has good at art. In fact, if you have good at art for one person, you have influence with one person. But if you have good at art for 1 million people, you have influence what? With 1 million people. If you have good at art for 1 billion people, you have influence over what? 1 billion people. That's why your heart must be expanded to be able to take people inside of it. This is one of the first things. I need to underscore that because, and it helps so that you don't approach relationship from a transactional perspective. Otherwise, it will always be, what can I get? What can I get? What can I get? What can I get? Let me give you a very good example. Wikipedia, or no, Tim Berners-Lee. He was one who invented the internet, right? Right? Hope you know that he could have patented the internet. But he made it open source. He didn't patent it. If he had patented it, he would have become the world's richest man. Because all the other infrastructure, Elon Musk, all of them, what are they building on? It's on the internet now. So imagine Google pays Apple $20 billion every year to make to make Google the default search engine on Apple devices. How much did I mention? $20 billion. Every year. So that when you want to search on Apple, on an iPhone, or an iPad, it is Google that you will see. They pay how much, sir? $20 billion. Now imagine the infrastructure on which Google is built on, the internet. Imagine that all of us have to pay for access to the internet. Now, Tim Berners-Lee might not be somebody we know, but he has influenced us, whether we like it or not. In fact, all of us here, the reason why we are here, and those who are following online, your life has been what? Influenced. Because influence is not about visibility. Sometimes we mistake the two. That to be influential means that your face must be everywhere. No, they are not the same thing. That is why, in fact, recently a scandal has been breaking out. Have you? The Jerry Epstein scandal. This scandal is helping us to know those who are pulling the strings of the world. In fact, one I read yesterday was saying that they actually were getting angel investors that will finance World War III. I'm telling you. In fact, they had scheduled the date of World War III for February 8, 2026, which was yesterday. Because war is business for some people. War is business. They know it cannot touch them. They have their bunkers. People that have islands that belong to them alone. They have bunkers deep beneath the ground. So even if they shoot an atomic bomb, their bunkers have gone down enough to save them. So, people, relationships are what? The primary infrastructure of human flourishing. And so you must think of relationships as the distribution of good in the world. How you distribute good in the world. If I want to distribute more good in the world, I need to build more relationships. And I must build it at different layers. Older, younger, contemporaries, across every level. All right. Let's go next. Movement 2. I have many, don't mind me. I love language, right? I love language. Don't worry. Just the slides will be left with everybody so you can go read it. It's good to have language. I mean, you mentioned it. I say it every time. Think well, write well, speak well. This language now, right, might challenge some people at the moment. But if you keep leaning into it, it will not become an issue. So what happens is that if, for instance, tomorrow they invite you to Switzerland, Geneva, to come for an event, all expense paid, and then you are sitting with people who are like chairmen of United Nations, all those things, your language will show that you deserve to sit at the table. That, there are these things they call tokenism. Tokenism means they just looked at you and felt, let's shall bring one African to join the panel so that it will not look like we are excluding them. There are many people that's how they got on stages. And they did not do anything to disabuse that mentality. The way they showed up showed that it was really, let's shall bring somebody. But you must not be that kind of person. When they bring you, it must be that, we've not seen this kind of person before. Let's keep bringing it. Now, it will not be tokenism, it will be merit. That it needs to be there. She needs to be there. She needs to be there. All right. So relational intelligence is the ability to steward asymmetry without exploitation. So what does that mean? Asymmetry is ever evident in relationships. Let me use somebody very quickly. Who leads the design team? Mr. Timmy. Please, can you quickly come? I want to use them as an example right now. Thank you. Now, this is Mr. Timmy. He's happily married. All right. Now, please, how many people are under your jurisdiction of responsibility?
More than 10.
More than 10. Now, is there anyone who is older than you?
I think one.
One person. And then there are those who are younger than you?
Yes.
Are there any of your contemporaries?
Yeah.
Okay. So he has older people, an older person, younger people, and then maybe some contemporaries, right? Now that shows asymmetry. What that means is it's not symmetrical. If everybody was his equal, then that's symmetrical. But the fact that not everybody is equal with him, it has introduced asymmetrical relationships above and beneath or below, right? Now, do you know that it is very possible that because of asymmetry, you can begin to... Okay, so let me ask a question. Somebody is working on a company deliverable and you want to eat, right? How will you tell the person, like, you should go help you buy something from Kinora? Okay, I'll put you on the spot. No, it's fine. Just say what you have to say.
Okay. Either it doesn't matter the age of the person, just any of the...
Let's say the younger person.
The younger person. Okay, I'll call the person and I'll tell him I need you to get me something from Kinora. Yeah.
All right, sometimes I know you're a good man, so it's fine. I've known him for a while. We've known since around 2013, 14, we lived on the same streets. So we've known each other for a long time. Yes, we've known each other for a long time. Thank you so much. Now, what am I trying to describe? Do you know that it is very possible that the moment I know somebody is younger than me, see, go and buy something quickly. There's no please, there's no thank you. It was in that communications review. So I was following the review. Like, it's not even thanks. Well, sometimes thanks might not be bad. At least it's better than nothing at all. But thank you. From time to time, giving a sense of, in fact, not from time to time, treating asymmetrical relation with dignity. Helping people see that they matter. That is what it means to steward asymmetry without what? Exploitation. Some people exploit power dynamics because they are in higher positions or they are older. And that's what we experience in some campuses, where lecturers will insist that girls sleep with them. That's power asymmetry, and they're already exploiting it. Every day for the thief, one day for the owner. Some of those people, I wonder if they don't even think of, what if they catch me? Some people don't think, like, what if they catch me? So everything I've built all my life will just what? Collapse. If a person is not relationally intelligent, before long they will start exploiting people around them. It doesn't take time. Particularly when the power dynamics are skewed. They are skewed. What does it mean? I remember one day, somebody told me, said that, okay, imagine that Dr. Adesegun were to travel somewhere, and this time around there was only one hotel room left. Typically we book 2 rooms, but there's only 1 room left, and he's going with Sheyi. And then the next thing is, he now says she come and sleep, like only one room, like sleep in the room. Hope you know that in some situations, if you have not extended dignity to people, those people cannot sleep with you on the same bed. They will say, sir, me, sleep with you. No. No, I can't. If we do not introduce dignity, even when people are... I went to live with some young men. I said, God told me to leave my own room when I was in school, final year. Leave your room. I paid for the room. I said, leave your room. Go and stay with these people so that you can show them that it's not only by teaching on the pulpit. That what you are teaching, you leave it out. I said, sincerely, those two brothers, if I wanted them to be taking me to the bathroom to go and bathe for me, they will do it. They honor in their heart. But the next thing is they will come back from school. They will say, I've swept the room, I've cooked food, and all that. In fact, they'll be shocked. They'll be like, please, sir, don't do this anymore. Please, 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 please. In fact, there was one certain one that I stayed in their house for a while. And if I wash plate, the guy will feel he has sinned. He says, sir, you wash plate. I'll say, I'm a brother now. I'm your brother. Why can't I wash plates? Now, people's honor for you when you have power or when you are a leader could actually make you move into this place where exploitation becomes something you are not thinking about. It can just be by default. You can just speak to the person anyhow. Maybe you are in public and something is happening. Is that how you do things? Why are you not thinking? Now, the interesting thing is that there are other people who are witnessing what's going on. And they will know that they can't trust you. See, there are some people that I don't tell any private things to anymore. Because I have seen it at different... And I want to keep the relationship. That's part of intelligence as well. I want to preserve the relationship. But I know that if they keep doing it, it will hurt me. So I stop telling them private things. Because I know that I can be listening to something one day. I'll just hear what I told them. I'm like, but this was between both of us. Recently, somebody was in a meeting with myself and my wife and some other people. And then he began to talk. He was saying, the other thing I told you the other time. Like, this person edited. He didn't say it. This person edited. I said, how? Did you tell them? He said, no. And I said, it was only me you told. He said, yes. I said, even my wife has not heard. I will keep it and my wife will not know. I've told her before that my kind of life will require me to keep some things because people kept it in trust with me. So she should not think I'm hiding anything from her, but for their sakes. Because while we are married, the capacity of our hearts may be different. You might not be able to bear it if you hear it, but I have been given the capacity because it's my responsibility. So I can bear it. Are you getting the picture? So this person was shocked. He quickly stopped what he was saying because he was shocked that guy. So he has told me this thing years ago. And it has not come out. That's what? Relational intelligence. Let me move quickly. Next slide. Next slide. Yes. Trust is not only built by what? Transparency, but by consistency over time. I love, whenever Dr. Adeyemi talks about how we met, it's always a beautiful thing, right? Because it's this thing that is playing out. He said the first time I came to his office, that was when it was here at General. It was come and share an opportunity that we said, we saw an opportunity, but we feel SQI is the only one that can do it, and we've come to share. So he heard that, what? Yeah, we have not started here, that we've not started anything in that direction, but that at least this can benefit all of us. And then I dropped the details, and then we left. He was like this person. Then the next thing was, I now came later, I think, because we wanted a referee for our corporate account when we started Innovate Lab. So SQI was the one that gave us the first signature. Can we give a round of applause? Do you know that it is possible to have done that first thing? And he will have said, wow, But it was not only that thing he did. He observed over time. The fact that you did something well today does not mean you've bought trust. Trust is built over time. It is earned. You earn trust. And that's what most people don't know. Some people want to build relationships and you see, let me tell you the truth. I can smell transactional people from far. I can smell them. So as soon as they are coming, the moment they say, hello sir, I read your post, I did something. I'll just say, go to Telegram, go and listen. I will tell them, go to Telegram, go and listen to everything there. I will know whether you are true or not. Because some people never come back. I have sifted them. But those that are looking for something valuable, who are not looking for an immediate gain, they will go and listen. They will go. Then they will come back and be telling me, I've listened to 5 already. I will give you reports as it goes. Then they will go again. Until they are done, they will now come. After they are done, then I will now tell them to do some other things. And then they will do those ones. It's after they've done those that I can now bring you close. Because I've discovered that many people, and it has happened to me, and I'll explain. There was a young man, all of us arrived here at once. We also grew. There was a young man that we were doing a project then, and it was around mentoring secondary school students. And so it was just me doing it without thinking of getting anything. But we needed support from time to time. So one day I was with my sister. My sister just told me about the younger brother of our friend that works with ELF. ELF is an oil company. And as at that time, was earning 800K per month. This is that time. More than 10 years ago. As soon as I heard it, my ears just like 800K. Surely this guy will be able to support what I'm doing. Next I said, can you tell your friend to introduce me to her brother? It was what I was after that I was after. And then at the end of the day, do you know what I got? 5,000 naira for data. If you are transactional, let me even tell you another thing. If you are transactional, one of the things that happens is the moment you get the thing you are looking for, or the first thing, all the energy disappears. My own, thank God that it was a wake-up call for me. Because some other people will do it. So they go from people to people. One of my secondary school mates just started getting close to me. I was smelling it from afar, but I said, let's give a benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt. After we had talked for a while, caught up, how are you, Next he just said, Oshinuga, that's what they used to call me then. Oshinuga, how far? You see, my business has stopped functioning, like there's nothing to eat, and all that. Can you help me? I said, yeah, okay. I sent him 20K. I said, bye-bye. 20K was very minute compared to what he could have gotten if this was a real relationship. But do you know after that time, he has not come back? He has gotten 20K and it feels like I finally got something from him. Trust is not only built on a one-off thing. It is consistent over time. You build relationship, you invest. There are some relationships I'm building now, and they are for 10 years. And it's not even because I'm thinking of what I can get. It's just because the relationships are gifts that I need to steward properly. I was telling somebody, I said, there are times when if I cannot, and this is me just sharing with you. Sometimes life gets very busy, but you cannot even use busyness for some relationships. You cannot. You can't use busyness for some relationships. I was talking about my mentor earlier. My mentor calls me now and says, or she texts me first, she'll say, JD, do you have a minute? Do you have some time? She will ask me, do I have time? You two can feel like me, I've arrived now. Do you have time? You now tell her that, okay, I'll have time next week. Say, I have time now. I'm available now. Then she will call. We can talk for 30 minutes. and then it's sorted. Or she tells me, I want to do this, and I feel like you are the one I need to help me do it. I'm like, okay, ma, I'll take care of it. But your mentor is asking you, do you have time? You are thinking that, oh, she knows that me too, I'm busy now, right? So, I should, also tell her that, sorry, please, let's talk next week. Can you book an appointment on my calendar? Don't let motivational speakers destroy your life. Because some of them will tell you, protect your time. No. It is consistency over time. You get to a point in some relationship that you don't need to service them every time anymore. You can speak in 6 months and it will not look like you have not spoken in 6 months. You've already built. You are present even when there is no everyday conversation. You are present. That's where you need to build relationships to. Next slide. Yes. Movement 4. Conflict reveals relational intelligence more than what? Harmony. Kai, this is a difficult one actually. And the reason being that, welcome, sir. I mean, there's yes, sir. So, conflict reveals relational intelligence more than harmony. Now, let me explain this to you. Every relationship goes through times of stress testing. They are stress tested. And I've shared an example with you earlier, right? This time it was my mentor. But let me give another example. I remember there was a young lady. This young lady said some things about me that were difficult to hear. There are times you help people, and then and suddenly after like 5 years, they start looking at the help you gave them as inconsequential. Like, what was big in that help? But they forgot how desperately they needed the help at that point in time. Say, she 10,000 of me, sorry. It's not 10,000. 10,000 there was like 10 million to that person. Now that they've now gotten one remote job and USD is flowing in, they're not like, wait, is it because of 10,000 this person is expecting me to be loyal to them or to be, imagine, he's saying, please, can you meet me at this place? Me. It's like they think everybody does not have a job. It happens. It happens every day. And that's why you must be very intentional about your heart. Your heart must be, again, relation must not be transactional for you. If they are transactional, it's easy to follow all those, cut off this person, cut off that person. The only people you should cut off are those who are leading you against God. Cut them off and don't regret it. Those are the only people. But somebody is not yet catching up with things that you are already doing. Your presence in their lives will keep motivating them. Remember, you also are looking at somebody and you are not stagnant, you are moving. As you are moving, it also gets them to move. From time to time, you spend time with them and say, let's talk. What are your most important plans right now? Let's see how we can build accountability and structures around it. I don't know where people came and said, if they cannot contribute to you, if you don't have friends that can give you 5 million naira in one night, cut them off. It's motivational speaking. So what am I saying here? So this particular lady said some things. But you know what happened? I realized that I needed to call her one day and just help her. Now, it's difficult, sometimes to confront things. You can hear them and you just keep them at arm's length and you just block your mind. But actually, relational intelligence, I knew that relationship, even though the lady is younger than me, God brought her into our lives for a purpose. So we had a call. That call lasted about 1 hour. And then we're back and forth, going back and forth, until I arrived at a point where I now said, okay, now take everything I've shared and go and ruminate on it and let me know. Now, if you were to see that lady today and you ask her, who is JD to you? She'll be like, wow, he's a God sent. He's this, he's that, he's that. That relationship will have scattered about 4 years ago. But because of intelligence, there has to be a way you approach conflict. Approach conflict with good intentions. Always interpret people's actions with good intentions until they prove otherwise. Always make excuses for people until they prove otherwise. This is how you're actually able to demonstrate relational intelligence. Another thing is, words are very, very sensitive. Yoruba says words are like eggs, right? Learn how to tame your words or your tongue. Because some people have spoken some things in the heat of anger that even when they finish making up again, it still keeps ringing in the head of the other person. Imagine that. Let me use husband and wife again. Imagine that a husband, maybe they have a clash, and the wife had told the husband about something that happened in their family and all of that. He said, that's how your entire family cannot become. And they were exchanging words too. But they now reconcile later. Even during peacetime, the wife will be saying, so this is what he thinks about me and my family. What will now happen is the wife will start hiding things that she's insecure about because she does not know when to become ammunition. Conflict reveals relational intelligence more than harmony. So whenever there is potential conflict in your relationship, don't run away. Approach it with wisdom. If possible, go and take counsel from somebody, a leader, and say, sir, ma, please, this is happening between me and my friend. I remember there was a time somebody came to tell me that, me and my friend, we have this issue. And I just feel like I want to cut. No, it's not even friend, it's fiancé. We're having this issue. I said, wait. And I said, wait. When I finished talking with the young man, I was like, thank you, sir. Thank you for helping me see it in this different way. You almost called off this thing. And I'm like, look at you. You're almost losing God's gifts because of this. Sometimes elders help you to calm your head down. They will pour water on your head that's already bringing out smoke. They will pour, cool down, sit down. Sometimes even hunger, because they said a hungry man is an angry man. So they will tell you, eat first, eat. No, you are done, eat. Let's now talk about this. If you will build influence, and I'm telling you this for a fact, there are people, Kai. I have seen, and particularly when you are dealing with young people, again, this topic is not for today alone. It's for the future as well. If you are dealing with young people enter a phase where they lack wisdom. I'm telling you. Where exuberance begins to, is youthful exuberance. Where they discount the things you did for them. There are many times you can block off those people and all of that. Whereas you still need to be guiding them. Now what happens is after a season, they now come back to their senses. But many of them don't know how to go back to those relationships. What I have done over the years when these kind of things have happened is that on your birthday, I'll reach out to you and I will greet you happy birthday. I will celebrate you. I remember the great things you've done, the good things you've done, and I will just amplify it. So the person will be like, this person is still talking about me in a good way. What that begins to do is that their hearts begin to realize that even if this person maybe rebuked me or disciplined me, they still have my best at heart. Or sometimes if it was somebody's thoughts that was pumping in their minds that made them start thinking otherwise, what happens is that they begin to regulate themselves back to know that it seems I'm shutting the door on people that really care for me. Are you getting the picture? So you must understand that in such instances like this, there is the need for wisdom. Now the beautiful thing is that some recommendations we have gotten has been from people who have acted anyhow in the past. But because we took care of that relationship, now they recommend without. In fact, some of them try to overcompensate. They're like, I did this thing that was not right. So in their mind, how do I bring myself back into the good books? Whereas that's not what you are looking for. But then the next thing is they get opportunity they are sending your way because they feel like, okay, in this way as well, I can make up for whatever it is that I've done wrong. All right, next slide. Movement 5. All right. Relational intelligence is the capacity to hold what? Multiple loyalties without fragmentation. This is where a lot of people have missed it. Let me use from a spiritual perspective. Some people were brought up by a pastor, and then they went to school and they met another young pastor that was energetic and all of that. So they say, our pastor does not have anointing. Like he's, say he doesn't even, like he's not exposed. Intelligence helps you to know how to relate with multiple layers of people who have been a blessing to your life, without any of them feeling like now that you have grown, you have put them behind. Are you getting the picture? My mom did a 70th birthday celebration recently. And then my pastor, from before was there. And then next thing, myself and, my brother, we just decided we're going to put money in an envelope and give him. And then I was not able to be there when they were giving him, but they gave him the gift. Wow. When he sent me a message, he was like, I got your gift. God bless you greatly. God bless you greatly. Now, the interesting thing is that I might have different perceptions about some things now, but it does not reflect in how I relate with him. Are you getting the picture? Some people have destroyed relationships because they felt they now got new relationships that I can't be, no, like your house, face me, I face you. We don't do those things, Interestingly, I was speaking with my wife today, this morning, and yesterday, this morning power went out and we turned on the generator. And we're like, wait, like, my wife just said, wait, power went out just now. Do you know some families don't have generators to turn on? That means they will have to either use torchlights or candles or something. And in my head, I began to think about it. I said, hey, privilege. She now told you about something my son did recently, that some children came inside the compound. I don't know who opened the gate, but they came inside the compound to our waste bin, and they were picking plastics. And then my son saw them from afar and said, yuck. Like yuck means, Hey. I said, privilege. Privilege. For him now, it's like, what's that? And I told my wife, I said, do you know some people too, we see him and say yuck. This world is in levels. There are some homes, all their beddings are white. White. Because they don't sweat in those homes. They don't sweat. But we have multicolored beddings. This one. I'm like, man, privilege. My now said we have to. So I was telling my wife, I was like, hi. I said, and this is just the beginning, because a time will come. I said, in recent times, anytime I come out of the assembly, and then I have to go out in the afternoon, because you come in the morning, you go out in the evening, you return home in the evening. Anytime I go out in the afternoon, I'm like, wait, is this the song people are having to survive under? I feel it, and I'm like, kai. Somewhere in my heart, I'll be like, hey. So something happened to me when I was in final year also. I'm a spiritual person. God told me that because at some point, I started only visiting my relatives that had money. For holidays, like you will choose carefully the ones that you will scan all of them. Like, this one is in VI or this one is in Ikeja. Oh yeah, go there. But God told me that you are not setting up yourself for a good life. So He told me to start going to the places that did not have luxury, that were basic. So I will go to Ikoto Egbe. That one, I remember the time I went there. Their well is. Then the well has Pyrogira. I used to feel very, I will go there. Yuck. So I will go there. I began to go there, and that began to condition me to know how to abase and abound. So if you take me to a village now, and I would manage. It might not be as comfortable, but they won't see it on my face. Because sometimes you might not know, but your face will show it. If they even bring plate and spoon, you will check the spoon very well. They wash this thing well, Relational intelligence is the capacity to hold what? Multiple loyalties and fragmentation. It is being able to speak with the mechanic, the vulcanizer. Speak with them. The girl selling pepper. Speak with them. Greet them. Ekasoma. Again, while it's not a bad thing to have your compound to yourself, but don't lose the beauty of our culture, where we greet, where we respect people. Because again, our generation is losing touch of that. In fact, before we know that if you see an old person and you're inside a bus, you will stand up for them. But now I'm like, oh, stand. It doesn't concern people. Now, these things I'm saying are very important. If you embrace them, okay. I was going to use an example. I was telling somebody, I was in Ikene yesterday. I ministered at a RCCG church. And so I was telling them something. I said recently I put something on my status. I said, small talk. Maybe I need to do a teaching around small talk. How you need to know how to talk about everything, little thing about everything around tables. I said, okay, so yeah, but this is where I'm going. So last year, some of my people went with me to Kenya. So I went on a trip to Kenya. And then the hotel where Lord was a 5-star hotel. Where bam, So the next thing was, one young man from here in the Bomosho now came also. I'm not, some people, figure, but I'm not mentioning names. So he came, and then he was not staying in my hotel, he was staying somewhere else. So he came to the hotel and came and saw, when he came and he saw how that the curtains were parting by buttons, and all of that, the blinds were moving by buttons. And as it was moving, he was seeing the skyline of the city. This was how his mouth. I now said, Kai. I said, the interesting thing is that these are the type of hotels I stay when I travel. But people at home don't know because I don't rub it in their faces. I don't come back and say, you know where I stay, just. No. I don't rub it in their faces. That is capacity to hold multiple loyalties. There was one lady that traveled for a period of time. By the time she came back, she was doing phone. I said, even to me? I said, no, now. I said, no, now. She was, everybody, so, I said, relax. She's not being intelligent. She's not being intelligent. Because what she's doing is alienating people. Number one, they can't be joyful for you like they should, because now it seems like you are letting them know that levels have changed. That's number one. Number two, you are alienating them. Suddenly you don't have the right support structure around you anymore. Are you getting the picture? So I will express those things and then I come back and I'm back in the mode, everything. The only time that it was difficult, and that was I went to France and the cold was serious. When I came back for 2 weeks, the generator was non-stop. Because any small thing, I'm sweating. But you see, Timandov comes to Nigeria, and I use this to explain to some people. I said, this guy comes to Nigeria, he's wearing suit. Typically, white people will want to wear shorts and stuff because the difference is really clear. The difference is really, really clear. But he comes and he doesn't act like what we give him to eat is, I'm learning. That guy, That man. That man is wealthy by any standards. But I have taken a lot from him as well. How he is able to relate with myself. No. But some other people who are not even close, when they show up, you know that they've come to intimidate you. Like it's intimidation. They've come to do. Be able to hold relationship with people from old, people who are young. Be able to sit down on the ground with children and play with them. If that's what it requires. Some people have gotten too old that they cannot even do that. But do you know that there are some times that's how you win children over to yourself? And do you know that there are some people, it is how you treat their children that lets them know that they can open the door for you? I've experienced this a number of times. Like, people will now be sending their children to me. You need to speak with your uncle. You need to speak with your uncle. You need to speak with your uncle. I'm speaking with the child, and then the parents are like surprised that the child is flowing. The next thing they know that I need to keep this young man close to me because he can influence my child positively. In fact, one of them recently called me and said, I want to send my child from Canada to come and do IT in Ogbomoso. I'm telling you. From where? Canada. To come and do IT. That's the beautiful thing. Next slide. All right. Relational intelligence increases with one's capacity for what? For self-government. Kai, this one is very important. Somebody went to visit somebody in VGC. They invited him to come and visit them in VGC. He visited them, and then when they served him food, it was on the dining table. They served him food. He left the dining table with the plates after he had finished eating and went to sit down and started watching TV. Observed him the first time. Okay. Now, that person, if he were a stranger, it would not have been an issue. But he was not a stranger. He was somebody the family knew. So, they didn't talk the first time. The second time, he did the same thing. That was how the man of the house just said, the helps are not your helps. They are our helps. Take your things to the kitchen and clean up. After he now left, they discovered that he didn't even spread the bed that he slept on. That is lack of self-government. Self-government is when you have laws on your inside that you don't need anybody external to tell you. You go to somebody's building, you go to their building, and you don't check that you flushed well. Whatever conclusion they make about you, they've made it. You won't have any opportunity to rectify it. They'll say, imagine, is it that they don't use like a flushing, they don't use a water closet, that is functional? Is it that, there was a day I went to Tantalizers or so. And then one big man, the man had brought a girl to the, he brought a girl to the eatery. Big man, he had money. And then he went to use the restroom. And then I had to step into the restroom after him. And then I entered. I saw that the feces he defecated was still there. When I went outside, I was looking at the man like this. Now, how could you? I don't know. But that's self-government. Self-government helps you to live with rules on your inside that are not necessarily outside. Another one, the Bible says something like, if you are eating with a king, put a knife to your throat. Some people, I've also learned. You see, some of this I'm saying, I learned the hard way. So my secondary school used to have old students reunion. So I would travel from Ogbomoso. That was when I was a student. I would travel to Lagos for the Lagos reunion. Then usually, because all the guys were already big, they were money men, the food was usually served buffet. So you just be pointing. That was how I got there that day. I was a student, right? So I was a student. So if you're a student, you hear that convocation is happening. You can branch. So the next thing was I just put this one. My plate was full. And I also picked mots. I balanced. I finished that one. I now got to the house of my cousins where I was staying. The wife had now cooked beans and set it on the table. I couldn't say no. That's also intelligence. Because the woman is not my relative, it's the husband. So if your cousin's wife took all the time to cook for you and you don't now eat it, had it been that I exhibited self-control with the earlier food, it would not have been an issue. But I'd fueled myself. Then I now ate that one too. I was in the bus coming from Lagos. It was a BAT. You know BAT, British American Tobacco. Stop. Jumped out of the bus. I said, you can be going. God saved me. I'll have just messed up myself inside the bus. Ran inside the bush. But some people, now, I observe some things. When I'm in events, meetings, I observe some things that I know that they won't call this person back again. I observe. Say this person, they won't call the person back. You are eating. And you keep loading your plate. You keep loading your plate. You load it. And then you are eating. And then you are eating, talking. You are not closing your mouth when you are eating. The person that invited you they will be tense so that you will not fully disgrace them. But as soon as that event is done or that dinner, not again. I've seen it happen at different points. This government, self-government, some people will go to weddings and forget they are people of dignity. My mom taught me early, eat before you go for any event. Eat. So that you will not be part of those that are wearing white agbada. And they're like, as they put one juice on the table. Juice that they can buy a full store. But you know how it is. I don't know. I don't know if it's a Nigerian thing. Nigerians feel cheated if they go for an event and food does not reach them. I also feel that way. It's not that you can control your own. You control your own. Like it's normal in Nigeria. Food, it has to reach me now. The interesting thing is that food, you can buy it. You can even call a chef to come and cook it for you in your house. But the fact that it is in an event, that more the day I came for this. Do you know some people are holding grudges with people for 20 years? That I came for your wedding, I didn't eat. Some people are holding grudges. I came for your event, I didn't eat. Now, what am I saying? Your capacity for self-government makes all the difference. There are sometimes people are talking. They are your elders. You are now laughing because it's funny. You must learn to keep your face straight. Like you are not hearing. Some people will be laughing as if they invited them. You will act as if you are invisible. They will know that you are a person that if secrets are being shared, you will keep it to yourself. That you are not moved by emotions. Self-government. I've been in conversations where the reason I was sharing one in France, I was in the same room with Oni of Ife, all of those people. The kind of things they were talking about. Power dynamics. But I was allowed to be in the room. There were only about 8 chairs, and then there were people, the Oni's PA, and some few people were the ones also in the room. And I was there, I was listening. If my mentor knew that I had a leaky mouth, I won't be accepted. They would just put me in the corridor. Many people were on the corridor. Many people older than me were on the corridor. They were outside. I was the youngest person inside that room. Now, why am I saying this? It is because of this self-government. Self-government. You must. So, hey. We don't have time. We've already gone. Please, last one. Relational intelligence is ultimately what? A product of worldviews. I need to explain this very well. We have different worldviews that determine how we live. One worldview is the worldview that came from the theory of the Big Bang theory, that the universe came into existence by itself. Like there's no meaning to it. That theory also now proceeds into the evolutionary theory. It's a worldview. I was listening to a documentary one day, and they asked a lady in the US, they said, if your neighbor was drowning in the swimming pool and your dog was drowning, who will you save first? The lady said, my dog, of course. Imagine, your neighbor is drowning and your dog is drowning. And he said, who will you save first? She said, my dog, of course. In essence, as far as that girl is concerned, a dog and a human are of equal value. So I prefer my dog to... I read another one where a woman divorced her husband because of their dog. He forgot to give the medication to the dog at the time it was meant to get medication. He was watching a match and he got carried away and slept off. The dog was now having seizures. When she came back, she said she was filing for divorce. I said, on top of dog, it's a worldview. It's a worldview. So the way people treat people, the way people develop relationships is also a product of what? Of worldviews. If you come from a worldview that is transactional, just be sure that you treat relationships as transactional. If you come from a worldview where human beings are not dignified, where they are not the image of God, it will be very easy for you to exploit human beings for your benefit. I mean, like, what's it called? There are these streamers now, that act weirdly. Nigerian streamers that do some very weird things. And the funny thing is, some people actually watch them. You become what you behold now. You are looking at people like bring this spit out of their mouth because they want people to be streaming. You become what you see now. It's a worldview driving that person. That person obviously does not know that they were made in the image of God. Are you getting what I'm saying? That's why they are doing that. Because somebody who is made in the image of God cannot be slobbering, like having spittle drawing out of their mouth, and then it's fun. Relational intelligence is ultimately a product of worldviews. Now, when we are done, go and search for worldviews and then try to find out which worldview you have. And then it can help you know how you've been treating people, how you've been relating with people. The reason why I can see someone who does not seem to have any prospect and yet embrace the person, shake the person, and then tell the person that, like, you can do great things. It's because of a worldview. That a God created humans in his image and his likeness to actually like become all they are meant to be. So the fact that they are raw form does not stop him from actually like bringing them towards himself so that he can make them all he wants them to become. So when people say that don't relate with people that cannot contribute to you, it's a worldview. Because was it because of what you could contribute to God that he drew you close? No, it was not. Are we getting the picture? Relational intelligence ultimately is a product of worldviews. And then finally, next slide. All right. So now the first definition I gave was a very simple one. Now this is a very comprehensive one that now gathers everything together. Relational intelligence is the capacity to what? To build, to sustain, and repair trust-based relationships over time. Across what? Symmetries of power, difference, and conflict in ways that produce what? Dignity, formation, and shared flourishing. If I had only had this slide as my slide, I would have been able to unpack everything I've said so far. Because this kind of like compresses everything into a paragraph. In essence, you are able to build influence beyond imagination when you have relational intelligence. I'll share one story and then we'll be done. In 2010, I had a retreat that lasted 31 days. And towards the end of the retreat, I had a dream. And in the dream, now pay attention. In the dream, I saw that my cousin was telling me that I should write. No, my cousin was telling me that an uncle of mine had said I should let him know anything I needed and he will make it available. This uncle of mine happened to live in the US. And so the next thing was I woke up. Interestingly, I was actually using the house of the parents of that my uncle. So I was using their house, their boys' quarter for that retreat. So when I woke up, I told my grand aunt and I told her, I said, this is what I saw in my dream. And then she was like, okay, write it out as a letter and I will deliver it to this your uncle. So she was going to the US, she would deliver it. So I said to her, so I wrote it. And then since that my cousin said whatever I wanted, you know the interesting thing for me, I wanted just a few things. I wanted an iPod mini that had this. How many people remember that iPod? That one that you had to, with black and white screen, right? That was the iPod I wanted. I wanted that iPod, then I wanted some books, a list of books. I wrote out the books. And then I sent it to my uncle. So, towards the end of the year, my uncle and my aunt, my grand uncle and my grand aunt, they came back to Nigeria. And then they told me that they had actually brought what I requested for. So I went to their house. So they gave me an iPod Touch. They said my uncle bought an iPod Touch. That was the latest one. It was fourth generation then. And then he sent me $100 to buy the books because he didn't see the books I was asking for to buy the books. So I couldn't finally buy the books I was looking for because they were not around as well. So I had to just buy other books and stuff. And then, after 10 years, on the 10th anniversary of that gift, obviously I'd been sending my grandaunt to help me greet him and all of that. We didn't really have a relationship much before that time, so it was not like we were on a daily basis conversation. So in 2020, it was like I felt the prompt to now send a message to that my uncle and tell him all the beautiful that have happened because of the gift he gave me. The iPod Touch and then the $100. I now wrote out everything in step. That this thing made me listen to this particular thing and it changed my life. When it changed my life, this is what it led to. This money, I was able to buy books for other people and this is what they have become. And I listed everything. I sent it. When he saw it, he was surprised that, wait, this person has come back to tell me what $100 and I think the iPod was $300 then. So that was about $400 that was spent. Do you know that that decision or that thanking him led to the starting of a farm here in Ogbomoso that has had more than $100,000 invested in it? From what? From a thank you and a pointing to all the benefits, all the things that has happened. See, to be relationally intelligent is the farm employs people. We have created employment. We have done things. We have opened up new opportunities for people around. There's a new value chain that has been created from that farm. All because of being able to know what to do. Because somebody else could have said thank you. Thank you. I just want to thank you for what you did 10 years ago. And that's how it could have ended. But thank you are now showing the things that has come out of it. I tell you, this is a skill. It is a skill to build. It is a skill that you can take one after the other and say, I want to build, I want to work on this. There's a relationship that I've left and abandoned for a while. I want to revive it and now be consistent with it for the next 1 year, 2 years. For some people, all you need to be doing for them or with them is a happy new month message that is not cliche. At some point, I stopped sending. There are some of my people that I don't like. For instance, Dr. Adesegun knows that most of our conversations, I usually use one emoji like that. It's intentional. It's an emoji to show that we are hugging each other. Because usually when we see, we what? We hug. And so that emoji is like a placeholder for when we see next. So I remember one day when I ended the conversation and then I did, he said, you did not. There are some people that when I greet them on birthdays, I want to text. I feel like text is already cliche. So I do a video note. A video note. In fact, for some of them, it has been like, wow, you went all the way to do this. I'm like, I was in video note. No. But for them, it showed intentionality. Are you getting the picture? All right, I'm going to peg it here. I hope you've been blessed today. Thank you.
Can we do that better, SQI? Can we rise to our feet and celebrate Mr. Jesudamilare Adesegun David again? And can we say thank you, sir? We love you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Please have your seats. This is so packed. I hope you will agree with me that this is so packed with so much wisdom, practical applications of these live lessons that are transformational in themselves. This is absolutely so packed. Can we jam our hands once again together for him? Thank you very much, sir. We are so blessed. And I believe that everyone who has participated in this, either offline, on-site, online, you have gained valuable things that you want to go and revisit. And not just revisit them to have them in your memory, but you want to start practicalizing them in the relationships that you have around you, in the new relationships that you will build as well. Please, this that Uncle JD did for us is something that he has always been doing. Yes, he has always been doing this, impacting people everywhere, every chance he gets. Personally, I've been a beneficiary of this right from, I think, 2019. That was the first time I was able to listen to him at one conference, academic conference by Timi Awesu in Lautech. And since then, it has been loads and loads of transformational information. Please, if you have not been benefiting from this, I would encourage you to do so. He has a platform called Lead with JD on Telegram. You do have sessions on topics like this from time to time, sometimes twice in a month. Practical instructions that will be beneficial to your life. The last one we had was on the topic called Dominion, and I believe that everyone should listen to that session. So, if you are on Telegram, or even if you are not, open Telegram, just search for Lead with JD. You will find it. Years of transformational content. Just consume as much as you want to. Your mind can never remain the same. I'm sure of that. Thank you so much, sir, for doing this. Can we celebrate him once again? Thank you. Thank you very much. So because of our time, we'll be able to take a couple of questions, say maybe 2. Please, if you have a question, you know how we do it. Just come forward. Just come forward. Don't wait before you're called. Just come forward. I'm not sure we'll be able to take too much, but if you have questions, just come forward. And if we have questions online, please put it in the chat box. YouTube, please put it in the chat box. So you know what you will do. Just introduce your name and then your question. So try to gather everything together, then you'll answer them at once. So, let's go first.
Good day, sir. My name is Ibrahim Said, and I'm not really have a question here, but I have a particular thing that I would like our boss to expatiate on. So, you mentioned a particular topic before you start your topic, the first principle. I believe that I want you to help us to expatiate on that. And I believe that if everyone understands first principle and apply it to our day-to-day life, it will help us to make a better decision, not only in business, but in our personal life. Thank you, sir.
My name is Zulu Timtokwe. My question is relational intelligence more important than academic intelligence?
morning, everyone. Afternoon. Good afternoon, sir. My name is Charles, and my question is, I think I would put it this way. I came from a place you would call undeserved, and my first time in Ogumosho was 2016, and I've had to come here a couple of times after that, and looking at what's going on, Innovate Lab, the Assembly, SQI, and all of the other things that are happening, the gap is very, very wide. And coming from a place where the growth is not as it should be, and bringing in developments like we see in Ogumosho right now, it's uncommon. I want to ask, how do you build from scratch in a place where it is unusual to have things like this, and it's not even a thing to have what we have in Ogumosho? Thank you so much.
Good morning, sir. My name is Steven, and thank you so much for that amazing session. So, in the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he made mention of a power distance index, which basically describes the relationship on hierarchical levels. So, he made mention of high PDIs and low PDIs. High PDIs are cultures that the people at the base of the hierarchy cannot really relate well with the people at the top, and low PDIs are people where like the relationship is symmetrical. So I realized that I actually came up from a community where the PDI is like very, very high, and my relation with people that are older, in my case now it's age-based, so people that are older than me, I can't really relate well with them. So, and I've been trying so much. So are there tips that you could share to help me like relate more with people older than me? Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for that wonderful session. God bless you, sir. My question is, in a situation whereby you are dealing with somebody and the person happens to be probably a long-time friend that you have been relating very well, and peradventure the person finds himself in a very higher position than you when you met again. And actually, maybe probably not that you are not growing, but peradventure, maybe one thing or the other, you are still progressing at your own ability. And along the line, the person is now trying to put you in a very lower position. Even at that, you still accept it, but trying to, manage the person as the person is, but yet it keep on pressing you. In that kind of situation, do you just cut it off, or we keep managing until the person realizes? All right, in a situation where you have been with a friend, a long-time friend, you grew up together, do a lot of things together, and along the line, things change. There's a kind of distance for some time, and when you meet again, the person is in probably a better position than you are. And you are trying to, relate with the person, but the person keep putting you down. And you kind of become kind of inferior to the person, and even at that, you didn't pick offense, you are trying to manage it. But along the line, and keep repeating itself. In that kind of situation, you keep managing, or probably you just break out.
All right.
All right. I'm just going to try to answer these questions quickly. If there are any other questions, maybe online, let's know. Yes, so the first principles question. That's a very, very interesting question. Okay, maybe I should just stand up so I can. Yes. I could stand up and just answer the questions here. Okay, for the first principles, it's fine. When I try to share about first principles, I use this analogy. First principles is like peeling back the layers of an onion, right? If you peel onion, right, you see another ring inside. You peel, you see another ring, until you get to the littlest one inside it. It's not the perfect analogy, but it helps you understand that to arrive at first principles, you must first peel the layers of something. Now, let me use a very good example. If you interact with children, right? Children are experts at first principle thinking. And let me explain. If you tell your child, go and read your book, and then the child asks you, why should I read my book? Now, a parent can say, are you asking me? Go and read your book. They've already stopped the flow of understanding for that child to understand why they should read their book. So if a parent answers and says so that you can be successful in life. Then the child can ask, what does it mean to be successful in life? And then you're like, well, to be successful means... Now, if the parent does not know the answer to being successful, they will realize they can't answer their child's this because the parent can say, well, to be successful means to have money, like at least you are well employed, or you are doing well for yourself, and life is beautiful. Then the child asks, what does it mean for life to be beautiful? Now, the first question you told the child was, go and read your book. And the child asks, why should I read my book? We do a lot of things that we've not questioned the assumptions behind them. A whole lot of things. First principles helps you not to live by assumptions, but to live by bedrock truths. It helps you peel back layers until you get to the bedrock. Are you getting the picture? That's basically first principles. It is interesting because my latest newsletter, so I have a newsletter as well called The Beautiful Life. That's the topic treated, returning to first principles. The one before that, the topic was the myth of no money. A lot of people don't do things because they say, I don't have money. And in that particular newsletter, I broke it down to show that it is not the fact that you don't have money that you are not doing what you should do. There are many other reasons why you are not doing what you're doing or what you should be doing. All right? So we might not be able to take too much time to dive into that, but just recognize that first principles is you taking away assumptions till you know what really matters. And then you can now build from there. So if you want access to the newsletter, I don't know, Sheyi can share it with everybody. All right, so the second question, another thing is, when you play with children a lot, when you're around children, you will begin to practice first principle thinking by default, as long as you don't shut them down. Let them keep asking. I remember my wife and I agreed that we will not shut our children down. Let them keep asking. The time we are tired, we'll say, please come back tomorrow. Or we don't know. It's easier than shutting them down. So what has happened is that they ask questions. And some of the questions are left field, meaning that you are not even planning for such questions. They just ask you, you're like, where did this one come from again? But then you decide that, okay, I remember when my grandma died, Amos had to confront the idea of death for the first time. Like, he had to interface. We could not hide from him that the grandma was dead. So we're like, what does it mean to die? And things like that, right? All right, is relational intelligence more important than academic intelligence? No. It is not either or. It should be and. You should be academically intelligent and relationally intelligent. The two are superpowers. Some people say that first class does not matter. It matters. It matters. If you have first class, your leg is already inside the door. Are you getting the picture? I'm not saying that a third class cannot succeed and all of that or do what they want to do. But I'm just trying to say that if you have a first class, your legs are already inside the door, because people will use first class as a proxy. I've used that statement again the second time, like that word, proxy, as a stand-in for their evaluation of your competence. So they might not have asked you questions directly, but the fact that you have a first class will say, this person is intelligent. So it will give you opportunities that you may not necessarily have had access to. So it's not either or. Do you want me to sit here?
If you want to.
Okay, I think I want to sit. Right. Thank you. Okay. How do you build from scratch in underserved areas? Now, the person who asked that question, the truth is, don't let the glamour of what you see today make you forget that we started from somewhere. Thank you, sir. Because SQI came here before Innovate Lab started a business. So you had made the ground easier for us to work. I remember that I was in Lautech when was I already? Yes, I was in Lautech when I saw the first set of flyers for SQI scholarship. Yeah, I was in Lautech. Everything didn't start rosy. You have to build for the long term. I remember Mount Royal also. When it was, I remember that it was along Olukoko Road. Abi? Yes, I remember. So everything didn't start rosy. You have to put in the work. And it's one beautiful thing is that when you put in the work, you sort of start finding other people that are putting in the work. And then you can start building relationships. Nobody owes you anything. Just approach life that way. Because you might see somebody who has money in where you are coming from. And you say, why is this person not like giving me money to do these big things I have in mind? You know, it will take a certain kind of heart to part with money that they worked for. It will take a certain kind of heart. And some people don't want to use their money for experiments. They will only make it available when they know that you will return the money with more, or you will do what you do with it. Are you getting the picture? I see Janet is saying, right? Praise. Yes. I mean, these folks decide to start doing something insane. How many years now? I think 2 years now. It might not still look fancy, but they're already building the foundations for a transformed design. I'm excited when I see the posters and then the pictures. I'm like, they're already building the foundation for the new design. So, start your work. You are sowing seeds. Then nurture the seeds. Water it consistently. Pray. Because if you ask questions from them, prayer is a big part of it. Pray. Right? Because, Scripture says that the race is not to the swift and all of that. It's of God that shows mercy. So in essence, you need God's intervention as well to succeed in whatever you're doing. Thank you. All right. Yes, I love this question from him. High power distance index versus low. Tips on relating with people older than you. Interestingly, Nigeria is that way. We are cultural people. I respect is major. Maybe Gen Zs are trying to break away from that. Right? Because they are just like, all the clocky, things like that. But the interesting thing? I still find myself having to walk through this. I use a lot of sa, or ma, because of where I came from. And sometimes I have to edit my messages to remove some sa because they feel excessive. Like, because every statement, sa, every ma, I'm like, no, this. But I still keep them there. The fact that I'm global does not mean I'm not culturally intelligent. That's another thing. Cultural intelligence is also a form of intelligence. Just like emotional intelligence. It's also a form. There are two different major culture demarcations. Cold cultures and warm cultures. Cold cultures are basically Nordic, European cultures. Then in South Africa, the folks who live in Cape Town, they are basically cold cultures. Those ones, they are direct in their speech. They don't go corner. Like, they speak directly. They want feedback now. Don't tell me, you did well, but their own is no, you didn't do well. And they will accept it. Thank you for being straightforward. But in warm cultures, like our own, you want to tell somebody they didn't do well, you've started trouble. So that's why some people will go to the West and they can't translate a lot of things they are capable of because they are not culturally intelligent. And some people come from the West, and when they come here, we want them to disappear because they come here and they are acting like they own this place. They say Americans are loud. Nigerians are loud. Our loudnesses are different. Americans' loudness is like they were the ones that brought you here. Right? Like, they just come and they look around like, let's do it this way, let's do it this way, let's do it this way. They feel they have superior philosophies for life. That's why okay, I'm already going out of the let me come back. How do you relate with people who are older than you? If you are in Nigeria, you still need to relate properly. Let there be honor. Don't some people start using first name. Except they say it's a policy in the company that everybody's on a first name basis. Please, don't use first name. Use Mr. or Miss or Mrs., whatever it is. Except the person tells you now that, you can actually use my first name, it's fine. But now when you are interacting with people outside the country, a lot of them want you first name basis. There is no big deal, right? I had to also learn how to demarcate the two because now you go to the US, you are interacting with Americans and then they are Nigerian Americans. So the Americans will hear you using sir for the Nigerian American, but to them, you are just like, hello team, how are you doing? And then when you're talking to this next person, sir, Baoni, Shema Walola, or will you come tomorrow? And they're like, wait, what's going on here? We're like, we are Nigerians, right? So there has to be that sense, right? Another thing is this though. Sometimes for Westerners, competence sometimes is questioned if you are too respectful. I was telling somebody, I said, when you are speaking with Americans, blow your trumpet. You are trying to be modest. They will think you are incompetent. Tell them the things you achieved. Just lay it. I built this to this level. I did this to this level. They were like, but when you say, we are just trying to, like we are by the grace of by the grace of God. Oh boy, sorry for you. They will smile till you are done with the call and you won't hear anything back. Because for them, it's incompetence you are trying to cover up for. With all those, respect. Just want to tell them straight. In fact, Americans sometimes will not greet you good afternoon before they start talking with you in your inbox. If you say too much of, hello, how are you doing, how is family, it gets them angry or annoyed. So their mails don't start with, how is your family, how are you doing? It just goes straight to the point. Hi, concerning the other conversation we had, please can you do this, do this, do this. But you, a Nigerian, you want to start with, hello, how is your family? Hope the weather is fine. You get the picture? Yes. So, be conscious of the culture you are interacting with. If it's Nigerian culture, the Niger Delta culture is a bit similar. Niger Delta is, there is no air in Niger Delta culture. Bros. You don't even need to call anybody bros. You call them their first name. So when I went to Warri to go and school, it was strange. But I'm glad I think it prepared me also for relating with white people. Because like you called people that were 20 years older than you by their name. Except maybe you now knew them personally. That's when you say uncle something or auntie something. You are walking on the street, you are not bending for anybody. Good afternoon, no. Simple. But in Yoruba land, you are greeting somebody who is just 3 years older than you. And you are not like this. You are not bending your head. Do you get it now? Yes. If you can actually do a search on cultural intelligence, then warm cultures and cold cultures, it will really help you. Yeah. And finally, from here, I don't know if there's another question, but from here, so you have a friend who you've been away for a while, but the person has now changed levels. Now the person is oppressing you with their levels, with the new levels they have, right? Do you keep that relationship or you walk away? Now, if you actually see, so there are some times when the reason why we stay in those relationships is because we feel there is something to gain. That's why we stay. We feel there's something to gain. That's why we allow insults, all kinds of things. If somebody is insulting you constantly, that's not a safe space to grow. You want to keep your distance. You can still relate with the person once in a while, but keep your distance from that person. Because what the person is doing is that, do you know there's a research that shows that if you are playing rock music to plants, they will start drying up. Yes, there's research. So you can go and check the effect of music on plants. Like research that shows it. But if you play some certain classicals, the growth of the plants is better. There's another one that they did where they were speaking insults, they were blasting insults to plants, and the plants were drying up. Yes. So check it. I mean, somebody can even do the Google search right now. Like, let us see. What am I trying to... Oh, I'm speaking to that person. Where is the person again? It's at the back. Oh, why don't I ask? Yes, okay, thanks. That kind of environment might not be conducive, helpful for you. Step away from it. Do you understand the picture? Yes, step away from it. Don't allow yourself have somebody speaking injurious words to you again and again. You have the responsibility to guard yourself from such things. I mean, if it were a senior, a boss, you might say because you are working there. But this is a friend or this is somebody that You've not seen in a long time now. You saw each other and then person is oppressing you. Please, like, keep your distance, okay? All right. Any other one? Okay.
Okay. So one of the question here says, we have 3 questions here. So I will just read them out. The first one says, if you said we should not relate to people because of whether they can contribute to us or not, why then should we relate? And is it not parasitic? So that's the first one. Should I take the other ones or you take them?
No, let me answer this first.
Okay.
I feel like what the person is saying is what is parasitic, right? If I'm in a relationship because of what I can get, then I'm basically parasitic. But if I'm in a relationship because I want to add value, the idea is I want to bring value, and then in the course of bringing value, I also receive value. That's a better frame for relationships than what can I get? Because what you can get will make you look for opportunities to exploit that relationship. And then, as I said, some people can smell transactional relationships from far. I don't know if I've shared this here before. My first trip outside Nigeria was because of somebody who I thought was not vibing with me. Like this elderly person, like I was around him for a few days, and his face would be straight, no emotions on his face. So I thought he had beef with me, sincerely. His face was emotionless. I would ask him that, can I help you with your bag? He would be like, no. Like, no. And then his face would be emotionless. Not until the person who sponsored my first trip outside Nigeria now said, do you know he was the one that actually said, I should sponsor you outside Nigeria? And I said, wow. Like, all the while his face was not... He said, that man, he can spot hypocrisy from far. That was it. So all the while he was like that, it was not because he had any issues with me, but that's how his face is. But if it was that I came with any like transactional motivation, he would have spotted it. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this to that person that enter relationship with what you can give first. In fact, scripture says it's more blessed to give than to receive. So if you're looking at an elderly person, think, how can I make their lives easier? What can I bring to the table for them? If you're thinking of somebody who is a multi-millionaire that could even that could invest in your company, think of how can their investment increase their own wealth. So that when you even tell them that, sir, I think I found a way to, like do something that whoever invests in it will also get returns on it. So when you think like that, you will see that you are framing a relation from a standpoint of good. Remember what I said earlier? From a standpoint of good.
Thank you very much, sir. So the last 2 questions here, I think they are very similar. The first person says, how do you set boundaries while still trying to practice relational intelligence? So the second one is also like it. The person is saying, how can I intentionally manage familiarity in relationships to preserve healthy boundaries? Yeah. And how can such relationships be repaired when those boundaries have already been crossed?
Very, very, very significant questions. The one around familiarity, it's a difficult one, because really, as I mentioned, some people don't know how to steward access. They don't know how to steward access. But anyway, it's good to be able to suffer long, to have a long rope, right? Some people come into my inbox and they're asking me questions they can Google. And I'm like, wait, respect my time now. I might not tell them, right? But in my head, I'm like, no, this person is not respecting my time. They don't know how important my time is. And that's another thing. Please, 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 if you have access, steward access well. Steward access what? Well. There are some young men and women that if they send me a message now, I will respond almost instantly. Because I know that they are stewards of the access. I know that they won't just send me a message without it having value. So, if you are the one who is now on the receiving end of familiarity, meaning that somebody is acting familiar with you, I think you might need to clearly let the person know that I really, really cherish our relationship, but it's already becoming dicey right now with some of the things that you're doing. Now, well, if it's an elderly person, that might now be a difficult one. Because an elderly person can see you and say, like, wait, boy, you need time. And just start. I said, my own mentor is telling me that, do you have some time? What she is doing is to ensure that it's not familiarity. Even though she's older than me, even though she knows that if she were to tell me that, JD, I need you to do this, I will do it. But she's that's relational intelligence as well. That you have some time. Some of the young people that before they got married, I could call them at any point in time. Now I ask them that, please, are you available? Are you available? I want to be sure because you have a wife now. You need to take care of your wife. Right? So what am I saying? If it's an elderly person, maybe I'll come back to that last. But if it's a younger person, immediately invite them into a conversation and say, hey, the way you are stewarding this relationship might actually like close the door to you and to other people, right? This is what I feel you should do whenever. So there are some people I correct and I tell them, don't send me a greeting and now you sent me a greeting. Is when I now reply, you will now send another greeting. When I now reply that one, you will now say, sir, I want to tell you something. No. Send me everything once. So I read. The relational intelligence, I don't really like phone calls. So some people may call me and it may ring out. And I won't pick it. Because at that point in time, something is going through my head. I don't want you to break the flow off. Asynchronous messaging is good for that. You can ask, if you're relating with a mentor, you can ask them, how do you prefer conversations to go? Some people will send me voice notes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. I say, I will now listen to this. I'll be like, actually, it's not a problem, but it might take a long time to get a response. If you can summarize what you have sent, then I can respond. People just, when they're on the voice note, they just continue. They say part 1. So that it will not be too long, sir. Part Don't impose your own preferred way of communication on somebody else. Ask them, how do you like communication? Remember Procrustes, right? Some people like voice notes. They like calls. So they'll just call. Like, no. If you're dealing with familiarity with a younger person, let them know. If it's a contemporary, you can do like David did. Paint a scenario. In fact, for an elderly person as well, you can paint a scenario and ask them, what will you do in this case? They will give you the answer you will use to answer them. Do you understand the picture? Sir, if you were in a situation like this and this was happening and all that, how would you handle it? They will tell you how they would handle it. So you can now say, okay, sir. So maybe they said that, sir, please, based on what you just said, sir, be making the sir very plenty. Now say, sir, I really want to be able to respond anytime you want me to do stuff. But recently, some new responsibilities came up that have shrunk my time. I don't know how best. I really want to be able to do this. In fact, sometimes the way I'm talking like this is how your text will be. You'll be putting ellipses to show that your thought is still forming. But you approach it with a lot of care. It might be a roundabout way until you pass it across. They said, Aborola Sofun Omoluabi. So if the person is a true elder, they too. You don't need to say it with all your mouth. They should understand what it is that you're trying to say. Yeah, but familiarity is something to actually guard against, because if it is not taken care of early enough, it spoils relationships. And those relationships might be damaged beyond repair. So for instance, I see some people do public posts. They want to appreciate me. And they say, I want to thank, JD is a leader, a mentor, and a friend. And I'm like, wait, when did we become friends? No. I'm the last person that takes offense with these things. But But I feel like that's not intelligence. You're calling me a friend. We are not friends. Like, except we throw friend around anyhow. But we are not friends. So don't call me a friend. That's also very helpful. Yeah. So I think I might have answered that person's question. But the first question had a different angle that I want to answer.
So the first one was, how do you set boundaries while still trying to practice relational intelligence?
Okay. How do you set boundaries? I feel communication helps. A lot of communication helps. Now, I want to say this here. The first time I visited the Adesegun family, the Adesegun family was just this year now. January this year. We've been relating for a long time. You see, there are things about boundaries that help you to be able to build the relation that will last. If from the first time we met, I'm already saying, sir, I want to come and visit you at your... It does not put honor on yourself. I'm not saying this because that is what it was, but it does not. But we have built relationship. We have seen that our values align. I'm saying, like, we've celebrated each other on different occasions. And then the next logical step is that we go beyond external to now knowing each other. And it was a beautiful time we had. At deep in, we had not built all that relationship. What will happen is after 20 minutes of talking, we won't have anything to say again. We'll now be looking at each other. The television was not on throughout because we didn't need it. We played table tennis. He used home advantage to win me. I'm telling you. And, it was a joyful time that by the time we're going, we were like, this is something we should do again. Do you know that if we had done it earlier, they might say, wow, thank you for coming. But in their head, they'll be like, please, don't ever call.